political fight has broken out over the video of an assault on an elderly man in Ghaziabad. Twitter was filled with posts stating that there was a communal angle to this incident, that a 72-year-old man was beaten up and forced to chant Jai Shri Ram. Now, this claim has been refuted by the Uttar Pradesh police, and now an FIR has been filed against microblogging platform Twitter, some political leaders, activists and others for spreading misinformation.
This viral video of a man in Ghaziabad, Uttar Pradesh, being assaulted first emerged on Monday. The video showed an elderly man being assaulted and his beard being forcibly cut off. The incident took place on the 5th of June. On the 7th, in a Facebook Live with a local Samajwadi Party leader, Ummed Pahalwan, the man alleged that he was forced to chant Jai Shri Ram while being assaulted. Several journalists, Congress leaders and a prominent fact-checker expressed outrage while sharing the video, backing these unverified claims on Twitter, prompting the UP police to launch a probe. It has now emerged that the incident was not a communal crime at all, but the result of a personal rivalry. And the UP government has cracked the whip. An FIR has now been filed against social media giant Twitter, fact-checker Mohammad Zubair, co-founder of Alt News, journalist Rana Ayub, online news portal The Wire, Congress leaders Salman Nizami and Dr. Shama Mohammed, and author Sabah Naqvi.
We have registered an FIR yesterday in which 7 people have been named and 2 Twitter and Twitter India have been made a party to it. Our social media team is still actively searching for posts who are still indulged. We'll take action against them also.
ट्विटर कॉरपोरेशन तथा ट्विटर कम्युनिकेशन इंडिया प्राइवेट लिमिटेड द्वारा भी उक्त धार्मिक संवेदनशील झूठे ट्वीट्स को हटाने के लिए भी कोई कार्रवाई नहीं की गई, जो उनका कर्तव्य एवं जिम्मेदारी थी। अतः जनपद गाजियाबाद के थाना लोनी में इन सभी के विरुद्ध मुकदमा अपराध संख्या 502/21 सुसंगत धाराओं में दर्ज किया गया है, जिनमें साक्ष्य के आधार पर कड़ी कार्रवाई की जाएगी।
The FIR against Twitter comes on a day it lost its intermediary status for not complying with information technology rules in India. The tech giant, along with 6 others, face up to 3 years in jail. They've been charged with provocation to cause a riot, promoting enmity, deliberate and malicious acts intended to outrage religious feelings, and criminal conspiracy. Politics over fake claims and the viral video have also exploded.
इन लोगों के अंदर होड़ है कि किस तरह से 2022 का जो चुनाव है यूपी का, उसकी चाबी सांप्रदायिकता के माध्यम से खोल दी जाए। लेकिन भारतीय जनता पार्टी और योगी जी की जो सरकार है उसका वो प्रतिबद्ध है कि 4.5 साल में कम्युनल या सांप्रदायिक माहौल होने नहीं दिया और ना होने देंगे।
निर्दयता, निर्ममता और सारे बंधनों को तोड़ते हुए जिस तरह हुई ये घटना, ये दर्शाता है कि कानून का राज उत्तर प्रदेश में नहीं है।
इस देश के अंदर सभी जानते हैं कि जाति धर्म की राजनीति कौन करता है, कि उत्तर प्रदेश के अंदर में कोई व्यक्ति चाहे किसी भी जाति धर्म का हो, उसकी सुरक्षा करना सरकार की जिम्मेदारी होती है और उसका लॉ एंड ऑर्डर मेंटेन करना भी सरकार की जिम्मेदारी होती है। सरकार अपनी जिम्मेदारी से नहीं भाग सकती, ये तय है।
The big question remains, was this old man made to say that he was forced to chant Jai Shri Ram? Was there a bigger conspiracy afoot? The investigation continues.
The Ghaziabad police claims they didn't find any communal motive behind the incident, and also they claim that none of the accused forced the victim to chant Jai Shri Ram. Hence, an FIR has been lodged against Twitter, Twitter India and many other people who tweeted this video claiming it to be a communal incident. With camera person Ritesh Mishra, this is Abhishek Anand reporting from Ghaziabad for India Today.
And joining me now from Lucknow is Siddharth Nath Singh, cabinet minister in the Yogi Adityanath government. Siddharthnath Singh, by registering an FIR against opposition leaders, journalists and activists, is the Yogi Adityanath government actually trying to silence free speech?
Where are we trying to silence free speech? But they cannot, spread rumors. They cannot spread hatred within the society. And then they say that, no, we are the flag bearers of free speech. The free speech is very much enshrined in our constitution. And there is a constitution which then lays down certain guidelines through various acts and various acts like the IPC and the CRPC. So there are various guidelines. So the government, whichever government of the day is there, they need to function and act as per the guidelines of the which are covered by the constitution on a larger umbrella. So that's what we are doing, and certainly nobody is allowed in Uttar Pradesh to spread rumors and through that then create a hatred in the society.
Okay, then wide open microblogging platform Twitter. Again, the question that's being asked, Siddharthnath Singh, is this a part of a larger plot to tame Twitter?
Well, it's certainly not a larger scheme, I would say, but Twitter or a micro-blogging platform like Twitter, they have been saying very enthusiastically, they have been saying that we have checks and balances where we do not allow such things to happen, which creates hatred in the society. But look at it. There's something you did put on. You put on your Twitter, and you allowed that to spread hatred in the society. We have seen what were the responses from various communities who vis-a-vis with the other community. Now that is your checks and balances of the Twitter? Certainly not. Then there has to be a law, and the law takes away that protection, which is as per the central government's new IT law. So if that law takes away the protection, we are within our right then to file an FIR against them.
Okay. So you accuse Twitter of not being impartial. But then there is this video of a 72-year-old man, Abdul Samad saying he was forced to chant Jai Shri Ram and Vande Mataram and accused of being sympathetic towards Pakistan. Now, sir, in an impartial investigation, why is that video being discounted?
We are not discounting anything. Everything went through a proper investigation, and through the investigation it was learned, and certainly there is also an FIR. Now the FIR in the first place did not speak about chanting of Jai Shri Ram and all these things as mentioned by you. But then the videos, they were said that they were from the other community. Certainly they were not from the other community. They belong to the same community. So how is it possible? So all these things have, then through investigation, you do come to a state where you conclude what was happening. And that's exactly what the UP police has put across.
Now, leaders of the Bharatiya Janata Party in Uttar Pradesh and of course here at the center seem to indicate that there is a larger political conspiracy here. What is this larger political conspiracy that you suspect?
Well, I think, Gaurav, you have been a very senior journalist and you have covered many nooks and corners of Indian politics. And you have seen many of these regional parties playing this kind of a nefarious, a hatred or communal kind of a hatred in the society. This certainly helps, to polarize, and we have seen in the past. So this is one of those schemes by political party to look at the communal angle and to polarize the society. So from that point of view, yes, it's a dirty politics that has been played, but for last 4.5 years, it's been the BJP government in Uttar Pradesh ruled, guided by our Chief Minister, Yogi Adityanath ji.
Okay.
And I can assure you, there has been no major or even minor communal tension that has happened in Uttar Pradesh, and we will ensure that the balance period before we go into the election, nothing of this sort happens in Uttar Pradesh.
No, so you allege, sir, that there are political parties who are trying to take advantage of communal polarization. That's the charge that the opposition has also leveled against your party. So which is this political party that's responsible for this conspiracy? Incidentally, AIMIM MP Asaduddin Owaisi says, ever since the BJP and the RSS government came to power, Muslims live in fear. Muslims, according to him, live without dignity, sir.
Well, I think Mr. Owaisi does carry a tag of communal, spreader of hatred. So I don't think I really need to respond to Mr. Owaisi.
Okay. Why would highlighting such a video or sharing it on a microblogging site or writing about it be seen as a criminal conspiracy and an attempt to create enmity between communities?
Well, if there is a communal violence, and because of that video, which is a fake video, it leads to a communal violence and a hatred in the society, it's a criminal offense. It's as per the law. You cannot say that it's not a criminal, it can't be a civil offense. So somebody has to be booked under the criminal offense.
Siddharth Nath Singh, for the moment, many thanks for joining me here on India First. Let me now throw this open to our guests. I have Supriya Srinath joining me from the Congress. Shazia Ilmi represents the Bharatiya Janata Party, and our national affairs editor Rahul Srivastav has been tracking the story about the government's notices to Twitter and the response very closely. But Supriya Srinath, the government has accused the opposition of trying to communalize a local fight between two people, and the police say Arif, Adil and Mushahid have been arrested or are accused along with Parvesh. So there is no communal angle. Political parties tried to give it one.
You know, what I find most baffling and what I find most ironic is that just before you started that conversation with Siddharth Nath Singh, there was ADG Law and Order Uttar Pradesh Prashant Kumar who was giving some gyan to media in general about this case. It's the same Prashant Kumar ji who had very famously said that there was no rape in Hathras. You remember he had said there was no penis insertion, so there was no rape. A man who was ADG Law and Order does not even know the basic law that was changed after the Nirbhaya case. That's Mr. Prashant Kumar, the ADG Law and Order of Uttar Pradesh for you, now giving some 2 bits about what law and order situation is. This is the same Uttar Pradesh, and I know a thing or two about Uttar Pradesh because I come from there. I belong to that place. I spent almost 20 days in a month in Uttar Pradesh. This is the same Uttar Pradesh where a colleague of ours, Supriya Sharma, is facing a sedition charge because she said Musahars in Varanasi are eating grass. This is the same Uttar Pradesh where Amitabh Rawat has been booked for a case because he said during Corona a minor girl was made to mop a floor in Devariya. This is the same
But
Uttar
what about
Pradesh.
if I were to stay on the current story for the moment, before you widen this, Arif, Adil and Mushahid, let's stay on the story for a moment. They have been they are either accused or in custody along with Parvesh. There is nothing about Jai Shri Ram according to the Uttar Pradesh police or in the original complaint.
I am not saying I'm digressing away from the story.
I am staying on the story, on the current story.
I am staying on the story as well. I am staying on the story. All I'm trying to tell you what happens in Uttar Pradesh. A guy who exposes that salt and roti is being given in Mirzapur faces a sedition charge. I'm sorry, I'm answering the questions. You please don't speak in between. You will get a chance to talk.
You're not able to answer.
And I will not speak.
You're not able to answer, my dear friend.
One by one. Okay. As soon as Supriya Srinath has made a point, Shazia Ilmi, I'm coming to you. Go ahead,
Shazia, you've been in TV. You've been in TV. Let's bring some civility to the debate.
Both of you have been. Ladies, both of you have been one by one.
So let me finish.
At least knowing the topic of the debate. You bring some dignity by acknowledging the topic of the debate.
Okay. Supriya Srinath, quickly finish your point, ma'am.
The only point I'm trying to make is,
please do, my dear
what
friend,
is
answer the question that is being asked.
Shazia, relax.
Yes.
Shazia, relax.
I'm
Just
very
relax.
relaxed.
Let's do a civil debate.
Okay.
You know, don't get hyper. Just because you guys are caught each
Okay,
time.
one by one,
who
one
are
by
you
one.
trying
Let's
to
not
prove a
digress.
point to?
You know,
Are you trying to prove a point?
time is short. Okay, one by
Okay,
one.
now,
Supriya,
are
you
Supriya
trying to
Srinath,
prove
only
a
Supriya
point?
Srinath, please. 30 seconds, ma'am. Make your point. Then I'll bring in Shazia Almi, please.
I am just asking Uttar Pradesh, are they trying to prove a point to Twitter? Because as far as this case is concerned, whatever the legal realm is, whatever the logical thing to do in a case like this is, the government and the police should do this.
Okay.
What are you trying to prove as far as Twitter is concerned? You are
Fair
only
enough.
trying
Ma'am,
to
you've made the
curb
point
free
about the
speech
immediate case. I'll
on
come to
Twitter.
Twitter in just 30
That's
seconds,
what
but
I'm saying.
Shazia Almi,
And Shazia,
please
relax.
respond.
Just be
The
civil.
police,
Don't
okay,
get
one
Okay,
by
so I
one.
want to come
Only
in now
Shazia
and I
Almi.
want to address
Shazia Almi, the
topic
police
of
have
the
given
debate.
one side of the story.
Please,
Hear me out. Hear me out.
From UP.
Hear me out.
I'm from UP. We have the oldest Urdu newspaper coming from UP. From Kanpur, which is where I'm from, so I also know a thing or two about UP.
Is this
if that
topical?
becomes a
I'm just asking
parameter,
because you
Okay.
asked
that
me.
becomes a parameter of
Okay,
knowledge.
one
But
by
coming
one.
to the point,
Shazia,
and only
permit
to
me
the
to
point,
ask you the
Gaurav, let me
question.
answer.
Shazia,
First
permit me
of
to
all,
ask you the
tell me
question.
something.
Let
No,
me
Gaurav,
ask
I
you the
want to
question
ask you.
first.
No, Gaurav.
Police
no,
have
Gaurav, I
said
to answer.
they've given one side of
My
the story.
God, this is
The
very
video
unfair.
of the man has given another side of the
Gaurav,
story.
I want
The
to answer
courts
I
will
want to
decide
answer
based
I
on
want to discuss
evidence. Isn't the
participating
Uttar
in
Pradesh
discussion.
police
You will-
government jumping
yes,
the gun, ma'am?
So exactly. So our lady was not able to answer the question because clearly this is being bandied around as a communal hate crime when it is not. So whether it's a Hindu or a Muslim, if there is a brawl and people fight with each other and the accused are co-Muslims, why would you call it a communal hate crime? So that means any Muslim can get away with any kind of crime and say, oh, because I'm a Muslim, I'm being targeted, and the police should not do anything about it. And what
You are
Ms.
such a
Neeti could
shining
not hear
example
properly
of
because
playing
let
the
me
victim
finish.
card here.
One by one.
Gaurav,
One by one. Supriya Srinath, I will let Shazia interrupt. I'd request you not to
I'm
interrupt.
talking about a debate. I'm not all over the place. And I know how many riots have happened during the Congress rule, during Mulayam Singh's rule, and Akhilesh's rule. And I want to say that again, this color is being given by some journalists who should not be called journalists. They are anti-BJP propagators and activists. Twitter suspended Trump's account because of Capitol Hill rioting. And Twitter cannot suspend these accounts. What about manipulated media? The co-accused are Muslims. There's a brawl. So if I fight within my family and I say, oh, I'm a Muslim, but others I'm fighting with are also Muslims, how can it become a communal hate crime?
Okay.
There is no mention of Sri Ram chanting.
Okay,
It is just being
Supriya
used,
Srinath,
and
before I
they
bring
are
you in, I want to
desperate,
quickly
and
bring
they
in Rahul
lie,
Srivastava.
and they're
Ma'am, you've made that
they're
point.
shamefully brazen about it. And I
Okay.
think Twitter should be suspended. I really for this, and they should have suspended
should
people
leave
like
Twitter
Rana
right
Ayub
away.
and Saban
Get
Naqvi
Modi ji to
because
leave
this
Twitter
is
right
work
away.
of
Rahul
people and
Srivastava,
people
Rahul
Congress.
Srivastava, I'll come to the aspect about Twitter too. Ravi Shankar Prasad in that conversation with you said that Twitter follows double standards. How does Twitter follow double standards according to the government, and what do they intend to do about this?
Gaurav, two, three specific examples the IT and the law minister cited. One, that Ladakh was shown as part of China. And when the Indian government approached Twitter, it took them, the Ravi Shankar Prasad said, nearly 10 to 15 days to actually correct that mistake. Then what the government is saying that when it came to the rioting at the Capitol Hill, at that time, Twitter on suo moto took cognizance of the fact that certain tweets and posts were inciting, and that included the then President of America, and the account was blocked. Whereas on the attack on Red Fort, which has perhaps, if not the same, but great amount of significance for India as a symbol of democratic India, where since Jawaharlal Nehru's time, the tricolor is being unfurled. There, people brandishing swords attacked policemen who were to jump in a moat which was 20 feet deep. And that Twitter did not take any suo moto action. What the government is challenging is that do Indian companies, IT companies operating in the US, operate under the pleasure of laws of India or the US? If Indian companies follow US laws, then Twitter needs to follow Indian laws.
Fair enough.
Good, bad, or ugly can be settled by court. The fact is, if there is a court for significant social media, what's the harm in appointing a compliance officer or a grievance officer or a nodal officer?
Okay, stay
and
with me
that's
for a
what the
moment,
government
Rahul.
rouse is. And Gaurav, on this incident,
Yes. Just stay with me. Supriya Srinath, Rahul Gandhi also did not perhaps try to ascertain the truth in this case. According to the Uttar Pradesh police, should the Congress not have waited for facts in such a surcharged atmosphere before tweeting out about that old man being attacked and a Jai Shri Ram connotation to it?
Gaurav, I am glad that this is getting so much attention. I would really want to ask the BJP and all the independent experts who want to voice their opinion on this, that the number of times women are abused, the number of times women are threatened, rape threats are given openly, and I break along them. What do you do?
Yes, exactly.
Does the government, Shazia, either we do a civil debate, or I'm going to start speaking
again you're running off the topic.
One by one. No, you're absolutely... Okay, Shazia, let Supriya Srinath make her point. Let her make her point. I will come to you. Shazia, I will come to you.
I will not let you utter a word.
No. Allow me to moderate. Let Supriya Srinath make her point, and then... No, I'm sorry. I am sorry. You will speak when I request either of you to speak. Supriya Srinath, please make your point, and then I'll come to Shazia Elmi.
I'm only saying, Gaurav, that I'm glad something like this is getting the attention. But why does the government not come down like a ton of bricks on all those people who threaten women with rape, who threaten women physically, who abuse women, all those women who chant Jai Godse and down with Mahatma Gandhi? I want to know, Twitter was all right till it was complying with the government's orders. Why did Twitter become a problem? Because people started voicing their opinion as far as the corona mismanagement is considered on Twitter. People started asking tough questions of the government on Twitter on unemployment, on economic ruin.
Ma'am, you still haven't answered my question about Rahul Gandhi. Did he jump? Did Rahul Gandhi jump the gun? Is there merit in the Uttar Pradesh government saying all of this is very dangerous politics ahead of Uttar Pradesh elections? I will come back to you to answer that question.
Yes, can I answer please? Can I come in? Can I be given the same?
It is the government.
Okay,
No, but Shazia Elmi, respond to Supriya Srinath.
Yes,
There will be a civil debate, and I will ensure that it is a civil debate, please.
Yes, I will.
Shazia Elmi, the opposition alleges only Shazia Elmi, please. Only Shazia Elmi. Supriya Srinath alleges, opposition says this clampdown is arbitrary. Hear me out.
Can I answer, please?
This clampdown is arbitrary. Only voices that are critical to the government are being silenced, and it started only after Corona was exposed, or the shortcomings during Corona were exposed.
No, that is not true. Twitter itself called it manipulated media when it came to Sambit Patra's account. So that is not true. And what did Twitter do vis-a-vis their own president on the Capitol Hill rioting? And this is a complete lie, a blatant lie. That is why Supriya Srinath is looking for cover. She's going helter-skelter. She's scrambling because she can't answer. Why couldn't Rahul Gandhi check this? Because they're looking for incidents. They're looking for some kind of communal crime.
Okay,
no,
one
be
by one.
quiet. Be
Supriya
quiet.
Srinath, I will come back to you as soon as Shazia finishes her point.
You answer. Yeah, let me answer.
It was
So
manipulated
look,
media.
please ask this lady to be quiet. Ma'am, because you got exposed and you could not answer. Ma'am, because you got exposed and you ran helter-skelter and you are obfuscating, it's not my fault. Because I want to speak on the topic.
One by one. Supriya Srinath, let Shazia complete her point, ma'am.
She has just admitted it was manipulated.
Yeah, that's why because she can't answer the question. And yes, you should talk about rapes. Yes, Supriya Srinath, and tell Rahul Gandhi to speak about rapes in West Bengal. Talk about why a 17-year-old Dalit gets raped by gang rape, thrown in a jungle because a family voted for BJP. Yes, you should speak up. I agree with you. Rahul Gandhi should say that. Rahul Gandhi should speak for the Dalit girl, should speak for the 60-year-old grandmother who was raped in front of her grandson.
Okay.
Yes, you're right. Rapes have to be exposed.
Okay, may I request both of you to step
especially by the TMC group.
And I want to bring in Rahul Srivastava once again. Rahul Srivastava, now that FIR has been written and those who allege that this is a clampdown on freedom of expression. But Rahul, should a red flag not have gone up when the video was released on social media without an audio layer and allegations were made about this old man being made to chant Jai Shri Ram? There was no corroborative evidence. Now, all of this should have been cross-checked unless there is merit in the allegation that there was a political leader on whose Facebook post this happened, and all of this is an attempt to communalize the atmosphere in Uttar Pradesh just before elections, Rahul.
Gaurav, you're absolutely right. See, I have followed Uttar Pradesh for 35 years now. And there have been, right since then, minor incidents. If you go back to August 2013, way ahead of the 2014 Lok Sabha election, there was a minor eve-teasing incident and a traffic accident incident that eventually led to one of the worst riots in Uttar Pradesh. And there were lives lost. And it polarized the election and polarized the polity. Now, somebody may dismiss this as an ordinary incident, but it has the potential to disturb public order and peace. There are provisions in the law. Now, the point here is that this incident has not just two dimensions. There are three versions already. The police version, the alleged victims version, and one of the perpetrators who was part of the group which had allegedly attacked them, even he has provided a third version. Now, irrespective of the fact which way the investigation will go, people seem to be adopting the suitable version for their own personal benefit. Now, that's where lies the real risk, Gaurav. When people start using it for personal benefits, then it actually polarizes the polity and demography further.
Yes, and Supriya Srinath, that's the allegation that's being leveled, whether it was Rahul Gandhi or Asaduddin Owaisi or Samajwadi Party leaders or others. You know, in the original complaint, the BJP says there was no reference to Jai Shri Ram. All of this, after a meeting with a Samajwadi Party leader, I think Umaid Pehlwan or something, you know, after that meeting, it just became a Jai Shri Ram and Vande Mataram and, you know, a Muslim being made to say that he's sympathetic to Pakistan. Did Rahul Gandhi, did Asaduddin Owaisi, did all these people jump the gun here, ma'am?
You know, Gaurav, while I will wait for the court's verdict on this, UP police is the last portal I will trust. And I will tell you why. They thought Hathras wasn't a rape. They did not act against Kuldeep Singh Sengar, who is now not just accused, but actually has been found guilty of rape and murder and is actually behind bars. They did not act against him. It was the Allahabad High Court that asked them to act against him. Chinmayanand, they did not act against him, but they act against independent journalists. They act against people who will expose the government, ask them tough questions. UP has become a minefield of sedition cases. At the drop of a hat, sedition cases are filed against people who want to show the truth. You want to show the truth about Varanasi becoming Kyoto? Here is a sedition case. You want to show the truth about Devariya? You want to show the truth about Mirzapur? Here is a sedition case. I don't know who on this channel can deny the fact that UP police consistently bundles up, consistently denies
Respond,
the truth.
Shazia Ilmi. There are three versions. It's only the court that will ascertain what the actual truth was.
The lady, the preceding speaker does not have anything to say, but the least I'll say is that Rahul Gandhi's account and Owaisi's account, which are being used to spread communal harmony, should be suspended because they cannot cause enmity between communities, and that is exactly what is being done.
Okay, one by one. Supriya Srinath, when you were speaking, Shazia didn't interrupt. Would request you to extend the same courtesy, ma'am.
Stop being garrulous and cantankerous. Learn some manners, my dear friend. Just because you can't answer a question.
Because Twitter is not acting according to the whims of fancy.
Okay, one by one. Supriya Srinath, now you're being unfair, ma'am. Respond, Shazia Ilmi.
Giving a suggestion.
Just because they have been exposed and the communal agenda is out for everybody to see, you cannot allow a garrulous and a cantankerous woman, a speaker, a spokesperson.
Okay, ma'am, no personal attacks. My request is no personal attacks.
To go on rambling, let your talk about everything else, but the topic in question. I talked about rapes. I talked about West Bengal rapes. She has nothing to say on that.
For all
so Hathras becomes very important, but the three minor girls who were raped in Rajasthan because Ashok Gehlot was filing his nomination.
Somebody whose ideology shifts from one side to the other.
My request to both our guests is no personal attacks. As far as this case is concerned, now let's see what investigations reveal and what the courts finally decide. I want to shift focus to the other big story here on India First. The Congress party once again in the line of fire, this time for accused of creating vaccine hesitancy in the country and derailing India's vaccine drive to contain the COVID pandemic. A Congress leader, social media voice, claimed that calves are slaughtered for Bharat Biotech's vaccine and that cow blood is used in Covaxin.
It consists cow calf serums, which is actually clotted blood obtained after slaughtering the young cow calves.
Covaxin consists of newborn calf serum, clotted blood obtained from young cow calves after slaughtering them. A despicable new piece of dangerous misinformation that has erupted from the Congress party, fully weaponized to explode religion-based hesitancy amidst an already sharp vaccine crisis.
Now there is this conversation going around on Covaxin based on an RTI response by the Government of India that it consists cow calf serums, which is actually clotted blood obtained after slaughtering the young cow calves. Government should not betray the faith and belief of people. That people should go for the vaccines, yes. That's the only way to defeat the pandemic.
Quoting a right to information response, Congress social media national coordinator Gaurav Sawant tweeted the claim along with a copy of the RTI document. The tweet was part of an organized move by the Congress party to put into people's minds that calf blood was being used in Covaxin.
RTI में जो तथ्य सामने आए हैं उसका उत्तर सरकार को और भारत बायोटेक को देना चाहिए. उसके बाद इस पर कोई चर्चा हो सकती है.
While the Congress has been soundly bashed by experts and observers on social media, the government also opened official counterfire, rebutting the claim point by point. Highlighting that the final Covaxin product does not contain newborn calf serum at all and that the calf serum is not an ingredient of the final vaccine product, the government has said facts have been twisted and misrepresented in these posts by the Congress party.
There was time when some politicians said that this vaccine is not an Indian vaccine, this is a BJP ka vaccine. And I will not take the vaccine. मैं तो vaccine लूंगा नहीं, जब हमारी सरकार आएगी तब हम vaccine देंगे. And then we had slew of Congress leaders who in fact did not show any interest in Covaxin. Rather, they pointed fingers toward Covaxin.
A 4-point rebuttal demolishes the dangerous Congress googly over calf blood. The Congress claim that Covaxin contains newborn calf serum is false, as is the claim that young calves are slaughtered for Covaxin. Apart from the third false claim that calf blood is somehow harvested for the vaccine, the government has also pointed out that an identical process is used for existing polio, rabies and influenza vaccines. The calf blood claim is the latest in a series of grossly irresponsible hesitancy triggers by opposition politicians targeting Covaxin specifically, including the Congress leadership itself. It started in January with Congress leaders Jairam Ramesh and Shashi Tharoor questioning authorization to Covaxin. This was followed by Anand Sharma and finally Rashid Alvi. Even the Congress's ally, the Shiv Sena, has been embarrassed by the irresponsible calf blood campaign, with Priyanka Chaturvedi saying, those who keep talking about the need for scientific temperament and research are now tweeting their disgust basis some RTI on Covaxin, adding to vaccine hesitancy by bringing religion-based choices to it. In its effort to score political points amidst a crisis, has the Congress lost all sense of measure and accuracy? And with the hesitancy virus matching COVID in spread, does the Congress now have blood on its hands? Bureau Report, India Today.
Does the Congress now have blood on its hands? Now, Supriya Srinath and Shazia Elmi, stay with me. Dr. Ravi Malik joins me on India First. And Dr. Ravi Malik has been treating COVID patients and vaccinating them. Dr. Malik, is this creating vaccine hesitancy if there is a claim about calf serum and the Covaxin?
Definitely, it is likely to create vaccine hesitancy. Let us first, Gaurav, understand the process, what it is. You know, calf serum is used only as an enrichment media for the growth of vero cells. Once the vero cells are grown, they are thoroughly washed and they are made absolutely calf serum free. They are washed and they are washed with a buffer and saline. Now, these vero cells are infected with coronaviruses. We must understand this process. They are infected with coronaviruses. And later on, the coronavirus, along with the vero cells, they both are killed. And the antigen is collected, which doesn't have even a speck of calf serum that is collected. and that is being used. Just 6 microgram to go in the medical details. Just 6 microgram of that antigen is detected, and all along with the preservatives, it is used as the vaccine. So the things are absolutely clear, and they are also in the public domain for last so many months.
Yes.
So the company is very clear about it, that there is not even a single part of calf serum which is there in the vaccine, number one. Number two, and I must also tell you, there are so many other vaccines which are produced by vero cells.
Oh, absolutely.
Like rotavirus, like oral polio vaccine, like
Shazia,
influenza,
so
like
what
rabies.
is wrong if a Congress party worker or an activist raises certain query on the basis of an RTI?
So yes,
You know,
yes,
the
I would
basic
like
thing
some
is there should not be any kind of vaccine hesitancy.
Fair enough,
Because
doctor.
if
Can I
there
just
is a
get Shazia
vaccine
Alvi to respond to that?
Yeah.
Give me a moment,
Three
doctor.
things here. I want to say three things here. First of all, I don't believe that this gentleman who was speaking and was trying to create vaccine hesitancy does not know the truth. I think it's being done deliberately. We all know about Louis Pasteur. We don't have to be, scientists to know that. We know about microbiology. We know about immunology. We know how it is done. We've all taken polio viruses. I'm sure Gaurav Pandhi has. So that would have come through the same process. So if this man is trying to be a Mangal Pandey, if Congress party is doing that, it is an antithesis of what Mangal Pandey did, which is fought for India and India's dignity and pride. They are actually working on vaccine hesitancy because they cannot bear the fact that India is controlling COVID and is getting success. They want to perpetuate an evil narrative by using these religious factors, which are not even true. Because we all know how vaccines are taken. So if you've taken a polio virus,
it's a
rubella
direct
or
attack
any
that
of
comes
these,
from
you
the
would know the
BJP
truth.
that the Congress is trying to derail the vaccine drive and encouraging vaccine hesitancy.
You know, Gaurav, the last people who should be speaking about the vaccine drive being derailed are members of the BJP. And you know why? Because in a country of
Again, a generalization and no
135
specific
crore
answer.
people, can she keep quiet? Does she have a problem?
Yeah,
One by one.
Can you
One
keep
by one.
quiet?
No, the point
in a
remains.
country
to me, my dear friend.
The point remains what was the motive of such? What was the motive of a Congress party activist putting out such information? What was the motive?
Shazia, counter with your arguments if you can. If you have the facts, bring them to fore. Don't speak in between. It shows you are nervous. It shows you are
Microbiology.
Now keep quiet.
One by one.
One by one. The panel did. We talked about. We talked about when
Okay, Shazia, Shazia. Let Supriya finish her point. I'm coming back to you, ma'am.
Gaurav, I am going to give you data, and I will come on Gaurav Pandey's tweet or whatever else he put out. The data suggests that in a country of 135 to 140 crore people, only 4.9 crore people have so far been fully vaccinated. We are not going to debate,
That is not even
derailment or hesitancy. There is no vaccine. Who is responsible for it?
So, and on top of that, then the Congress party puts out a tweet like this. What was the motive? What was the motive, Supriya Srinath? This is far too serious just to be reduced to tu meme, and let's not do that, please.
Gaurav Sawant,
what was the motive of such a tweet to derail it further?
I will tell you exactly what the motive was. Give me 2 seconds.
Yes, please.
I am only saying
Okay,
that
Shazia, please let Supriya finish, please.
Shazia, you can go on. You can finish talking once you're done.
No, I don't want this to be derailed. I'm sorry. Shazia will wait. Supriya, please finish.
This Congress spokesperson is again running off. She's looking for cover. She's obfuscating, and she either pretends not to know the topic of the discussion because she has no answer to give, because this is criminal.
Okay.
It is criminal.
Ma'am, if it's criminal, I'll come to you. You are saying it's criminal. I will come to you. But Shazia, wait. Please let Supriya finish her point. Supriya, please make the point on why would a Congress party activist do this? Was it by design? What was the motive?
You must be out of your mind to even suggest that we would do it out of design.
Well, that's what the opposition, that's what the BJP says. That's what the BJP says. It's by design.
Now you will have to wait and listen. Either you decide you will talk or I will speak. I have to speak. You ask me a question, wait for the reply. There was an RTI that was put out, and the RTI response said that yes, a calf serum was used there. Yes, the calf wasn't killed, there was no smothering, and Gaurav Pandey is wrong to say that. But the calf serum was used. In a country as sensitive as ours, the government should have come up front and clarified it. Why the hell did the government not do that? The government is the one creating hesitancy. The government is the one creating room for controversy. Shazia Ilmi, keep your mouth shut for 5 minutes and answer a question. At the peak of the Chinese tension, Gaurav,
hold on.
At the peak of the Chinese tension, a minister in the government of India said India is an aggressor. India has included China multiple times.
Hold on. I'm not letting this get digressed onto other issues. I am sorry. Let me bring in Dr. Ravi Malik, because this is far too serious to be reduced to a tutu meme. And if this is sinister, as the BJP says, the question also remains, what action will the BJP take? What action will the government take? Because this is not just political tutu meme. It's far too serious. Dr. Malik, the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare claims that facts have been misrepresented. Will this lead, in your opinion, in rural India especially, to people running away from a vaccination drive, and can this have really dangerous consequences in the weeks and months ahead?
It can have vaccine hesitancy, there is no doubt about it. And with folded hands, I will like to request that no information should be disseminated, because our viewers are maybe children, maybe innocent public, and the rural belt. So there can be a vaccine hesitancy. Gaurav, try to see, there is a dichotomy here. We have vaccinated 4% of the complete vaccination, both the doses, 4.4% of our population. And on the other side, if such kind of information is disseminated, it is likely to cause some kind of hindrance in the vaccination process. The only alternative in front of us is this vaccine. Because otherwise in future, again, the COVID is going to haunt us. I must tell you, the COVID has not gone. It is still going to. And the only option in front of us is to get rid of this monstrous catastrophe is vaccine, nothing else. So I think that we should, and moreover, as Shazia Ilmi has rightly said, that oral polio also, it has a viro-cultured calf serum which is being used. It is rabies also, which we give day in and day out. As a clinician, I can tell you, we give many of rabies vaccine. There is no child in this country who has not been given rotavirus vaccine. So all these vaccines are viro-cultured. And as I've told you the whole procedure, in the vaccine, there is not even a single speck of the calf serum there. Calf serum is only and only used for the culture of the viro cells. Even these viro cells are washed properly with the buffer. Then why was this being done? What
was the motive? Because Shazia Ilmi, if your party says that this was deliberate and intended to derail the drive, what does your government intend to do about it, other than, of course, argue in television studios, ma'am?
No, I think much more needs to be done. I feel very strongly about it. Whether it's my party in power or not,
let Shazia Ilmi finish. I will come to you,
Supriya, I think you got confused, just like you are about the topic. Your name is Supriya, not Shazia. Okay, so now Shazia speaks, and I think I will ask of my government and my party that strict action should be taken against all these people who are doing this, because this is evil. This is cruel. This is not just the interest, this is just not politics. Some things are beyond politics. This is public health. This is our fight against COVID. You cannot spread misinformation and deprive innocent, simple people using the religious factor and to scare them into taking vaccination. I think the stringent punishment should be given to Gaurav Pandis of the world and all those who are with him.
Okay, Supriya Srinath, you heard Shazia Ilmi, who says it is sinister, it is evil, it is deliberate, and you heard the good doctors say that the same technique has been used by the government, whether it's polio vaccine, rabies vaccine, influenza vaccine, for decades. So was this done to derail the drive?
You know what is derailing the drive? Somebody like a Ramdev coming and say vaccine useless hai, allopathic doctor.
And you know how everyone went after Yog Guru Baba Ramdev. You know how everyone went after Yog Guru Baba Ramdev.
I'm sorry, Gaurav. She has to keep quiet because you put me off the window when she's talking.
No,
suddenly she's back and
I absolutely agree with you. Only one person speaks at a time.
Please keep her out of the window now. I want to ask you a question. This morning, India got to know that 12 to 16 weeks extension between the two doses just happened, despite the scientists not being on board. That is causing back वैक्सीन हेजिटेंसी उससे हो रही है। किससे पूछ के आपने 12 से 16 हफ्ते कर दिया, उसका जवाब दीजिए। वो जवाब नहीं है इनके पास। किससे पूछकर आपने वैक्सीन का ड्यूरेशन बढ़ाया, साइंटिफिक एडवाइजर्स ने मना किया था, वो जवाब नहीं है इनके पास। वैक्सीन है ही नहीं देश में। Where is the vaccine to vaccinate people? I want to ask that. What
So
are
you want to
talking about?
answer a
Why have you
question by
vaccinated
asking a
only less than
counter
4%
question,
of our population?
not responding. मतलब अपने गिरहबान में आप भी नहीं झांकेंगे, ना वो झांकेंगे, ना आप झांकेंगे।
सरकार में है गौरव सावंत।
आपकी पार्टी के लोग इस तरह से क्यों कर रहे हैं, इसका क्या जवाब, इसका जवाब बनता है या नहीं बनता है?
मैं थोड़ा सा एक चीज कहना चाहती हूँ। गौरव मुझे प्लीज बोलने दीजिए, मैं सिर्फ 10 सेकंड लेना चाहती हूँ।
Let Supriya finish her point. Shazia, I'm coming to you because let the viewers understand why was such a thing done.
Listen, I want to say
Gaurav, if I can come in.
Yes, Shazia, give me 30 seconds. Let Supriya complete. I am coming to you. Supriya, go on. Make your point, ma'am.
Gaurav, you cover defense very closely, and I know you're a good defense reporter. At the peak of the China crisis, a minister in the government of India said India is an aggressor. No, wait.
Can we stay on this issue today? Can we stay on this issue today?
Was that the government of India's stand, or was that his personal view? And
So
we
you are saying
that. He was a government in the minister in this ministry, minister in the government of India. उसने बोल के चला गया, आपको कोई दिक्कत नहीं हुई। अरे यहाँ पर हमारा he's a tertiary social media volunteer. He is not the chief spokesperson. He is not our big leader. He has said something. I have distanced myself as an official spokesperson.
Respond quickly. Shazia Ilmi, it's a tertiary person, not important. Not important.
Gaurav, this is not done.
Okay, Shazia Ilmi wants to respond. Okay, Shazia Ilmi responds.
So I want to say two things.
Only Shazia Ilmi responds.
Yes, can I come in, please?
Yes, please.
So the efficacy of, when there have been efficacy trials, and this happened before, just after the first COVID surge, that actually if you increase the time, the efficacy improves in certain vaccines. It has nothing to do with any politics. And I also want to say, I want to tell Supriya, you were all over the place. You could not answer one question.
Okay.
You claim to have been a debater, but you don't even know the topic.
I want to bring in Dr. Ravi Malik for the last word on this because there shouldn't be personal attacks. Both of you are giving your party's point of view. Dr. Ravi Malik, in Islamic countries, governments in Islamic countries said whether a pig portion or a pig has been used for testing or not testing, we don't care. Vaccines save lives. That should be done. Be it UAE or even a country like Pakistan, Chinese vaccines are being used. Should that not be the only thing? Vaccines save lives. Take the vaccine.
That is all. Every religion, Gaurav, teaches us to save lives first. Well, let it be any kind of religion. Every religion says that we should save the lives. Moreover, it is not an issue at all. In this, the calf serum is also not used, and it is not a component. It is not used even for the culture of the virus. It is used only for the culture of the vero cells, which are thereafter washed with buffer, and there is not even a single speck of cow serum. And moreover, I will bulldoze my opinion a little further also, that we have to save the lives of people. Can't we see the number of lives we have lost because of this pandemic? Can't we see how many doctors we have lost?
I will let that be the last word on the show. Dr. Ravi Malik, Supriya Srinath, Shazia Ilmi, as always, many thanks for joining me here on India First. The vaccine, according to doctors, is safe. The vaccine, doctors say, saves lives. Must take the vaccine. Do not listen to any propaganda that comes in the way of getting a good jab that saves lives. That is all we have time for on India First this evening. Many thanks for watching. For all the latest news and updates, log on to indiatoday.in. You can also download the India Today app.